Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and today I've got a tunnel fold card. And I've made quite a few of these recently. I demonstrated this at a craft retreat not long ago. And because we're doing a series now of Fun Fold Fridays during May, and maybe beyond that if time allows, then I thought I would video one. So I'm going to make something similar to this. This is using the Awash with Beauty. No, it's not. This is using the Abstract Beauty. You'll see why I got mixed up with that in a minute. The Abstract Beauty designer series paper, which is now only available until the end of June. It's beautiful paper, lots and lots of different designs on it with these lovely gorgeous bright colours. There is a link to my shop in the description bar. If you click on that and look for Abstract Beauty, then you'll see that paper there. And then I've teamed that up with polished pink and white card with some polished pink ribbon. So the one I'm going to do today is using the Awash with Beauty suite, or Awash in Beauty. I keep getting the names mixed up. This is one of the papers. The colours are beautiful. Got balmy blue, there's mossy meadow, there's I think this is garden green in here, Merry Merlot. Very rarely get Merry Merlot mixed with things, and that's the colour combo that I'm going to use today. Let me show you. So I've got some things prepped already, which definitely helps when I'm doing these, as it saves a little bit of time. There are different, you could do this in lots of different sizes, but we do have die cutting for this, and to fit into my regular size big shot, this card base has to be, this one is 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. If you wanted something bigger, you're going to need a bigger die cutting machine, and you'll see why in a second. So my card base measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've scored on the long side at 4 1/8, and that's my card base, and I've given that a really good burnish because we've got a lot going on in the inside of this card. Now the front of my card I'm going to decorate with some Merry Merlot card. I can't tell you how excited I was when Merry Merlot came out. Was within the colour selection in here, because I just never use Merry Merlot, just very, very rarely use it. And then just look at that with the contrast of the white and then matched with the flowers and different kind of shades of that Merry Merlot. So pretty. So what I'm going to do is just stick that on there, and my glue's gone walkabouts. Had to pick up a new one. Don't know where the other one went. Right, let's look at that on the other side. We're going to be using this reverse side for the inside of the card. So I'm using liquid glue for this. It's my, for card making, it is my glue of choice. Oops. Oh, why is that stop coming out there? Because I'm filming, that's why. These things happen when I'm filming. The glue wants to stop working. Okay, so let's put that on there like that, just to smooth out all of that glue and disperse it. And that's ready to go on there. I'm not going to do that just yet because I've still got to stamp the inside of this card, and I don't want there to be any unevenness when I come to stamp. So I'm going to put that to one side. The next piece that I've got is a piece of Merry Merlot cardstock. This measures 8 inches by 5 1/2, and on the long side I've scored at 2 inches, 4 inches and 6 inches. The middle fold is a mountain fold, and the 2 folds either side of that are valley folds, so you end up with this W. And the back of the paper that I use for the front of the card, I'm then going to put in here. Now what could work nicely is if you have some, like if you were using this, you could be very careful with the cutting and then just get that to match all the way through, and then you just get these gaps in between. That's a really nice effect. I didn't do that with this because I was kind of I was trying to be a bit frugal with the cutting of my paper. So just using liquid glue, I'm going to stick all of these on here like that. So I'm going to do those and then come back. So there we go, there is the inside of my card. Just love the contrast of this pink with the Merry Merlot. Absolutely beautiful. Right, next job is to get, I've got these 2 layering circle dies. I've got a scalloped one and I've got a plain edge one. Now the scallop one, now this is why we are restricted as to the die cutting machine that we can use. I think there are ways of doing it. I think I have seen people trying to fold this and then do that, and I tried that and it just looked awful. So I've just stuck with that size of card. I'm going to put my circle here. Now you can put it at the top, at the middle, it doesn't matter. And to get it as accurate as possible, so as central horizontally as possible. I am not going to stick this down with washi tape. It could possibly work with a post-it note, but just something to hold that in place like that. Let's see if I've got a post-it note here. Some of my post-it notes have kind of lost their stick, which is very annoying. No, that's not very sticky at all, but we don't want anything too sticky anyway. I am just going to eyeball that. Stick that on there. And stick that on there, and I'm just going to grab a ruler, and as long as it's pretty much there, yep, I'm happy with that. Now, not only are we going to run that through the die cutting machine, but I'm also going to get a piece of white card. Basic white will be fine, and I'm going to cut that to about 3 3/4 inches square, and then I'm going to die cut that in white. So I've come back to this. Now I put that on my post-it notes, and I had to be very careful there. That paper was just starting to lift because of the pressure that goes onto this to die cut it. Really pushes the adhesive of washi tape or post-it notes. Really pushes that down. So I had to be very careful with that. Anyway, it came out okay. So there's my circle cut out of that. And then there's the smaller round circle. So not having to be as accurate as that one, as this one, but you just need some room around all sides. And what's going to happen is we are going to stick that circle or that piece of card to the inside there. Keep hold of this. You can use that for a sentiment later. So what I will do is get some glue. And don't go too close to the edge because we'll be able to see the edge of that circle behind our card. So I'm just going to lay that on top, and because we've got liquid glue and it's still a little bit wet, then we've got room to maneuver that. Now, some alternatives to this card, I'm just going to let that dry before I fold that again. Some alternative designs for this card is that you could stamp out some flowers or leaves designs. Now, in this stamp set, or in this bundle actually, we've got flowers, we've got leaves. You could stamp these and die cut them out and stick them to the inside of your card. That looks really nice, and that would work really well for a bigger card if you're able to die cut that circle. So that's something you can put on there. There's the bow punch, which with perhaps some Mossy Meadow card, you could punch those out and then just stick those, just something to make that circle a bit more interesting. So for this card, where was my card that I had just now? I didn't actually put paper on this inside here. So because this is quite plain, then that could have been decorated with some flowers or some punched objects on there. But this one, because I've got the designer series paper there, it just brightens that up a little bit. So what I'm going to do now, obviously this card here isn't folded, but this card here is. So we're just going to fold that and then give it another little burnish. Like that. We're going to put that in the centre of our card. But before we do that, we do need to stamp in here. Now, it is really more ideal to not score this beforehand, but I already have. But if you're going off to make this, don't score the middle of your card before you stamp it. Hopefully when I come to stamp it, it's going to look absolutely fine. What I need to do is find a stamp to go in the middle. My go-to stamp set when I'm just want to do a very quick basic card for a birthday card will be Peaceful Moments. And excuse me, for birthdays, I like to use the happy birthday sentiment here and the wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. I just think the two together are absolutely perfect for birthdays. It's a cling stamp set, so you get a really nice effect with this. Now, what we're going to do, we need that to be central in there, because what we're going to do is stamp like that. So that gives us an idea as to where that's going to go. And I'm going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow. Not Mossy Meadow, Merry Merlin. I'm not sure I've ever used this stamp pad, ever. It even looks brand new. That just even looks like it's never been stamped. Just so happy that this has, that we now have some designer series paper that's got Merry Merlot through it. It's such a beautiful colour. So to make sure that I've got that where I need it to be, I'm just looking for these score lines here to match the score lines on the white. So I'm going to put that in the middle. There we are. And actually, the score line hasn't made any difference to that. So that's that. So the next thing we can do is now just glue these sides here. So that's just all we're doing is gluing those. So make sure that's in place where it needs to be. And I'm just going to run some glue along that. And just another quick check again. Yeah, it had moved. Another quick check that it's all where it needs to be. And then smooth that down. And then we'll do the same with this one. And then fold that over like that and stick that down. And then just carefully fold it and just push those fold lines down, and there we have our card. And then we're ready to decorate the front. So I'm now going to put the front of my card on like that. So what we just need on the front here is a sentiment, and at this point I've decided to use the happy birthday. And now there are a couple of things that I could do. I could use this circle, and I could use the scallop circle again to die cut some Merry Merlot cards. So I've got a bit of Merry Merlot card here. I don't think that's going to fit. It won't. So I'm going to get another piece of scrap. I've got some scraps of this somewhere. And I'm going to die cut a circle using the bigger circle here. The alternative thing that I could do, because I have got plenty of scrap of white, is actually use the heart punches, and I think that's what I'm going to do actually, rather than do any more die cutting. But you can use that so that you're not wasting it. I can use that for another project. So let's get my heart punches. So using the scallop edge for the Merry Merlot heart. I'm going to put that on there, and then I need a scrap of white, which I had some earlier. As you can see, I use this strip of card for punching out hearts. Oops, tangled up there. I'm going to get the happy birthday sentiment and stick that onto my block, and I'm going to stamp that in Merry Merlot as well. But with all of the colours going on in that DSP, you could use whatever colour you like. You could even stamp it in black if you wanted to. Pop that on there like that. That's why I like this particular sentiment, because I know it fits in the heart beautifully. Couldn't fit any better if it tried. And then I'm just going to put that on there like that. And I'm going to put that on there with some mini stamping dimensionals. Might be easier with tweezers. On there like that. I don't have any coordinating ribbon with this. It would have been nice to put some ribbon on it. I have got this ribbon here, which would be nice. Might see if we could do a little, just because I'm now going to get carried away with decorating this. Might see if I can do a little bow, which I'm always loath to do bows when I'm filming because they just go wrong. Just absolutely hopeless at bows. I'm going to give it a quick go, because if we can put a bow on this, I think it would look really, really nice. We've got the beginnings of a bow. It's not the best bow. Don't come at me. I know it's not the best bow, but it's a bow. Oh, that's actually turned out really well. So this ribbon is from the Sahara Sand Old Olive combo, and the Sahara Sand one, let me just show you that. I'm looking forward to using this. I'll do some neutral card making. Beautiful. And the Old Olive one is just slightly narrower. So there's my bow. Now we could put this down here. I could pop my little bow on there like that. Oh, let's do that. I'm just going to even that up a little bit, because that is just doing my head in, the fact that they don't match. So I'll put that on afterwards. So I'm just going to stick this heart on with glue. And I'm going to use mini glue dots to glue down that bow. So I'm going to put that on there, middle, no, down here. I don't want to cover up too many of these flowers. Keep looking at that happy birthday. I'm convinced it's crooked. Absolutely convinced it's crooked, but I'm not going to look at it for too long. And my mini glue dots. Now I need my little take your pick tool. Let's pick off a glue dot, put it on the back of my bow. And then pop that on the edge of my heart. Oh, so chuffed with that bow. Then we have a tunnel card. So on the front, just looks like a lovely pretty card. Open it up, you get a little bit more of something going on. This is really where you're going to write out your card, because you can't really put anything on there. So on the back is where you're going to write that out. So you could, if you wanted to, put another sentiment on the back there. I'm just going to leave that like that for now. So I hope you like this as part of our Fun Fold Friday. If you head down to the blog, the link is in the description bar. You'll have all of the details of the measurements. You will have also the links to Karen and Victoria. They're my two teammates, and it's the three of us that are doing these Fun Fold Friday and 3D Thursday challenges. So links to their projects will be on there as well. So you kind of get three for the price of one. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.